And hello again, everyone, and welcome to Professional Insights brought to you by the National Referral Network. This is where we share professionals' wisdom, insights, and whatever else we can think of today. My friend Leilani, hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Good. Do you want, you know what? All the time I've known you, I don't think I've known how to pronounce your middle name. Not your middle name,
Oh,
it's
Serrao.
Serrao, okay? You
Serrao-Baker,
would
yes.
think I would know this after, okay, all right. Officially Leilani Serrao-Baker, who is a real estate professional in South Orange County, but really all over the Southland, given her connections and her vast network. And today we're going to talk about real estate. I am really curious about a lot of things, as I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of people are. So let's jump right into this. So the real estate market has changed in the past couple of years because interest rates
Yes.
have gone like this. How has the market changed, and what kinds of adjustments have professionals had to make?
Oh, well, there's a lot in that question. First of all, I would say there's about 85% of Californians have interest rates 5% or less. So they're sitting on the sidelines. And and it's not just Orange County, it's all over. And so that's affecting inventory. And there is some buyer demand, though buyer demand is really low as well.
Okay. So low inventory, low buyer
Yes.
demand. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a great state of affairs in real
No.
estate right now.
Yeah. Lawrence Young, I follow him. He's the National Association of Realtors economist. He's fantastic. He really fully believes 2023 was the bottom and that things are just going to get better. And we've seen the worst behind us. I hope he's right. As an industry, it's been a really rough year overall. A lot of my coworkers have lost about 50%
Wow.
of their business in 2023. So it's been a tough year.
So, okay, so if indeed he is correct about this being the bottom, what do you think is ahead of us? I mean, is the market, will there be more inventory in the market? I mean, I know that from our side, from the financial advisory perspective, there's a lot of belief that interest rates are going to go down this year. Now,
Yes.
Jerome Powell came out the other day and said, well, not so fast. So the market went yuck. All right. Like it always does. Whatever the Fed chair says, the market is very responsive to. But what do you see ahead for real estate? And in particular, anybody who's thinking about entering the market, what should they be thinking about?
I think that we are going to see interest rates get lower. And in fact, Lawrence thinks that it's going to go down to about 6.3. He said it's highly unlikely that it'll go below 6 this year. I think that's going to be enough to increase inventory. We're seeing signs of inventory increasing. There's about 23% more than this same month last year, which is great. We're seeing signs of the lock boxes. There's more and more opening, which is a sign of demand. We're not seeing more contracts signed, but again, I think that's an indication of there's just not anything out there to buy.
Now, is it? Do you think the demand will be stimulated in the sort of entry level area, people buying first homes? Will it be more on the high end with more of the expensive homes? What segment of the market do you think will become the most active?
Oh, definitely entry and middle. Luxury is suffering a little, although it's still happening. There's still people out there buying luxury homes.
Okay. And we were chatting before we got on here about real estate really is local. I mean, it's almost zip code specific. Even you could live on one street and I don't know, 4 or 5 streets over, it's a different marketplace. Okay.
True.
That's also true throughout the country. Are there particular areas of the country that you're noticing are beginning to flare up a bit?
Well, we have a lot of people leaving California, and a lot of them are going to Nashville. They're going to different cities in Texas, Utah, Idaho. So those areas are definitely growing and seeing a lot of sales. And plus, there's still land. We don't have a lot of land here, at least in Orange County. If you put in a search for Dana Point for land, there's about 5 listings. because we just don't have land.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so other areas, but that's always the case, though. It's always this market is hot now, and then another market is hot later.
Correct.
And with it, and that's likely to change with interest rates.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would say like 90% of my people who are selling right now, though, they're either it's a job change, they're leaving to get closer to family members because their children can no longer afford to live in California, so they're leaving, and they want to be with the grandchildren, so they're either renting their homes out or selling their homes and following their children and grandchildren.
okay.
And that's quite common. And then the other two areas would be death and divorce.
Okay. Now, if somebody is, so that's how inventory comes on the market.
Yeah, right now, yes, mostly those 4 reasons.
Great. That's people die. They get
Yeah.
they find a home. So if somebody wants to enter the market or they want to sell their home or whatever,
Yeah.
how should they prepare and what should they be thinking about?
Well, 2 different things, right? Buyers and sellers. Both of them should start with a really good agent, and that agent should be able to guide them as to what their first step should be.
Okay. Now, this leads me into my next topic. I think I've probably bought and sold real estate maybe 5 or 6 times in my life, something like that, between rental property and between homes and whatnot. And I have to be honest with you. I've always been a bit disappointed in the agents I've worked with because they don't. I'm looking for somebody to shepherd the process from start to finish. I've not really found that. And so I don't know that I've ever really known the difference between, not to be too blunt, a good agent and a bad agent. Can you walk us through, if you're going to hire an agent, what should you be thinking about and looking for?
Well, couple of things. And yeah, and it's super unfortunate because often you don't know that you chose the wrong agent until you already are under contract,
right,
and in the thick of it. So that's unfortunate. But it's probably about 84% of people hire the first agent they talk to.
Wow.
And yes, and that always amazes me that they don't. This is probably one of their largest assets, if not the largest asset. And I would hope that they would interview maybe 3. And a really great place to start. There's a couple of great places to start. First, is there a neighborhood specialist, and go to the neighbors and say, have you worked with this agent and what was your experience? 2, do I know anybody personally that just sold or bought, and can I call them and ask them their experience with that agent? And the last one is go to the professionals you already work with. Go to your network, go to your CPA, go to your trust attorney, go to your financial advisor. Those people know who is somebody that they can absolutely trust, that they're going to have your best interest at heart, because it's a reflection on them.
Yeah, I mean, since this, I'll just put in a plug for the National Referral Network, since this is brought to you by, I mean, we created the network, frankly, so that we could hold everybody in it to the same standard of client service and care, so that we knew what we were going to get, and we monitor how people behave with people they are referred to. So we're very, very careful about the experiences that people have, frankly, because we don't want bad stuff to happen on our watch. That's really the reason. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're the reason, but I want to go back to, for a second, the difference between an agent you should hire and one you shouldn't. What should you be looking for? What should they be saying? What's a red flag? All that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that always surprises me is that when I do go on an interview, not only do they mostly, 83% select the first person they talk to, after I go through looking at the home, getting to know them, sitting down with them, asking them what their goals are, going over my procedures and how I get the results I get, at the very end, I always ask them if they have any questions. And quite often they have none. 0 questions for me. And usually if they do, it's 2. What would you price my home at and how much do you charge?
Okay.
And those are both very important questions, but there's so many other areas within the transaction, and even before the transaction starts, where a good agent could either make them money or cost them money.
Okay. Well, okay. So let's stop there for a second. How
Okay.
does a good agent make you money? All right. And how does
Mhm.
a, I don't know, less than perfect agent cost you money?
Well, one of the main things is home preparation. It's just like meeting people. You have one chance for a first impression. And if you come on the market right, you're going to have a great result. And a lot of agents will say whatever they need to say to get the listing, will rush just to put their sign out and make all kinds of promises. And then they put the sign out and they quickly take pictures, put the sign out, and then you don't hear from them again. Preparation alone is one of the main areas that you can make more money with the sale of your property.
So how much more money can you make with proper preparation?
That's the thing. I can't give it an actual percentage or dollar amount. It really depends on what it needs, how much you're willing to put in. Like, here's an example. I had a listing recently, and it was right down the street, and I made my suggestions, and they didn't want to do any of them. So we put it on the market as is. There was a renter living in there, and it did not show well. We got one offer. They finally came back to me and said, okay, we'll do some of the things. So we did some of the things. It still wasn't enough. We put it back on the market. We didn't get any offers. They decided to take it off the market. In that same amount of time, which was 4 months, I sold 2 other homes within the same area with great preparation, put it on the market. Within a weekend, I had multiple offers way over asking, and it sold, I think it was 5% over asking price.
Wow. So it sounds like to me what you're arguing for is that there's an emotional component that happens initially, like a first impression. Okay. And if you're not playing to that emotional component initially by preparing properly, you're losing money. Is that right?
Right. Yes. So homeowners have to understand that once you sign a listing contract, your home is now a product. And when you put a product on the shelf, you have to put money into it to draw attention. And products all over, Coca-Cola, Nabisco, everybody puts millions of dollars into being the product that's on the middle shelf, not the top shelf, not the bottom shelf. You want to be the middle shelf.
Okay. So the bottom line is, okay. So the bottom line is houses that are that show well because you did the preparation.
Yes.
Sell for more, sell faster. Okay.
Correct.
And a good agent knows how to do that.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we just have a couple more minutes. What kinds of questions, because you mentioned questions that people don't ask.
Yeah.
What kinds of questions should they be asking beyond preparation, all the things you mentioned?
What are your stats? Show me what is your list to sales price typically? What's your average? Not your average. What's your average over the life of the time that you've been working, not just in the last year, in the last 6 months, because then it's just going to be, it might be just because of what the market is doing. You want to know over the lifetime of their career, what are their stats?
Okay.
Can you give me some references?
Okay. So in other words,
can I call them?
In other words, show me your results and let me talk to people you've generated results for, and we'll start there.
That's yes, part of it. I have a 2-page sheet with questions you should be asking your possible agent.
Wow. Okay.
I'm happy to share it if anybody wants to reach out to me.
That would be, well, as we wrap up here, and I don't know if my producer here can put the crawl, the thing we call the crawl on the bottom with your website address and all that stuff. I'm waiting for it to appear. It doesn't appear to be appearing, so maybe we don't have it. But yes, you can reach out to us, and we will send you the list. This has been great. I mean, I get everybody has these kinds of things on their mind if they're thinking about real estate. But yet, you're right. You find an agent, and they smile and smell good and all that stuff, and okay, you're hired, and you don't really know what you're getting. Okay. So the idea is if you're going to enter into that relationship with somebody, enter into the right relationship with the right person.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I think we want to have you back talk about other stuff at some point.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love to come back. Thank you. That'd be
Okay.
wonderful.
And for those of you watching this, check us out at the National Referral Network. If you're a professional and you're looking to link arms with other professionals for the sake of making yourself look bigger and better and better and all that stuff, talk to us about membership. And because we're building a big network here, and we want to all get better. The rising tide raises all ships. And thanks very much, Leilani. Really appreciate your time and all the things you said. It was great.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.